Welcome to this Export Talk Show Special Norway edition. It's going to be a great night with great artists, craftsmen and craftswomen from Norway, the best and the best of Belgium. But first, to introduce this great evening, let's applaud and give a warm welcome to Isabelle Grippat, the boss of Hubsters. Please.
Thank you for this warm welcome. I feel like in the United Nations. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, hey. It is a pleasure to welcome you to this talk show about circularity in craft. This event is organized in the framework of the Belgian Economic Mission that brings a delegation of no less than 450 representatives of companies and public institutions to Oslo for a 3-day stay. The Economic and Business Support Agency of Brussels, Hubsters, is one of the organizing partners with Flanders and Wallonia regions. Our role is indeed to help entrepreneurs to set up or to develop a sustainable business in Brussels. With a team of 350 Hubsters, as we call them, as a nickname, of which a quarter is based abroad, stand by these entrepreneurs during every step of their life cycle. From the conception of an idea up through the creation, diversification, growth, and internationalization, of course, of their company. As a consequence, we are also very aware of the capabilities and needs of entrepreneurs and society, and in a perfect position to take initiatives and recommend solutions to our policymakers, new one, by the way. It's this role of Brussels that led to tonight's event. It's titled Talk Show about Circularity in Craft could not be more self-explanatory. I would nevertheless like to take a minute to dissect it for you. First of all, why craft? In Brussels, we consider craftsmanship to be part of the cultural and creative industries, CCI as we call them. This sector is a cornerstone of the Brussels economy, as it accounts for approximately 50% of the workforce of Brussels, and making it the second largest employer after public administration. And Brussels is particularly fertile ground for the CCI, as it is home to renowned creative schools, galleries, art and design fairs, and multiculturally skilled population. However, the sector is also fragile, with many workers being freelancers or independents. To support their resilience and growth, Brussels launched many initiatives offering grants, coaching, networking opportunities, and international promotion. This support has turned craftsmanship into a pathway to economic empowerment. Secondly, why circularity? Because however economically viable the sector may be, it cannot survive in the long run without social and environmental innovation. With this in mind, the Brussels government adopted a shifting economy policy for transformation towards a decarbonate, regenerative, circular, democratic and digital economy. An entire chapter of this policy is dedicated to the cultural and creative industries. Our shifting economy measures are to stimulate artisans to develop sustainable products and methods. Artisans are very receptive to these measures, as they are already often at the forefront of sustainable practices, using local and recycled materials and producing ethically, as we could see earlier on. Finally, why a talk show? Why a talk show? Because exchanging views, ideas, knowledge and experiences foster inspiration, cooperation and progress. So, what better place for us than Oslo to organize this event, a city with which we share a care for aesthetics, for culture and for the environment. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is about pushing the boundaries of creativity and sustainability, about enhancing our vision for the future of craftsmanship and craftswomanship, about forging new partnerships. So let's take this opportunity to learn, dream, collaborate, and innovate. Thank you. Tusen takk.
Hello, it's amazing to be here tonight. We're very honored to be invited, and we're very excited to bring together Norwegian artisans together with Belgium artisans, and perhaps the collaborations that are born out of this event. Let's see, the presentation. Perfect. This building actually symbolizes a lot for me, because when I came to Norway and moved from the US in 2006, this was one of the first iconic buildings I was so inspired of. And Dogga, Design and Architecture in Norway, is the symbol of design and architecture in this country. So it's quite an honor to be here today. And the launch of Nevoy. Nevoy is a startup born out of passion, and after 16 years as a creative director and a designer in the industry, we wanted to see what we could do and experiment with in the interior and architecture industry. Our launch 3 years ago was right outside of this building, a part of Designer Saturday, where we took over and transformed a microhouse from Oslo Mikrohus and overnighted in it and transformed it into a gallery. It got a lot of publicity, and this was the start of Nevoy. Today, we are several designers that will be talking in the panel, as well as my co-founder, Helene, that's here with us today. And we represent over 100 of Norway's best artisans and manufacturers, brands within interior and design. This is quite an achievement if you think about doing this as a side project. We hope to be doing this full-time by the fall, and we've had a lot of support on the way, but we're quite happy to be here where we are now. At Nevoy is half-part agency where we curate, initiate, and produce exhibitions and seminars to bring the community together to promote Norwegian design, but it is also a commercial platform for buying and finding Norwegian design and craft. So our pilot is a place where you can explore and find a beautiful handcrafted piece, a beautiful piece of furniture, lighting, jewelry, and such. And our interesting slide, that got a little interesting. Our vision is to create a stronger presence for Norwegian design and craft. And yeah. And our values are, we are 100% Norwegian design. We try to support local and sustainable craft. We try to talk about circular economy and circular design when we can, as well as supporting interior architecture and contemporary design. So we are a community platform. We are a platform for collaboration, but we also are mindful with the business world and know how important it is to sell and be present, and how all of you, the Belgian designers as well, are very dependent on money to live, to be able to do your passion, to be able to do your handcraft and have your focus there. And we want to create a better world by supporting artisans, and our next phase of Nevoy will go to creating a platform that simplifies everything when it comes to export and sales into the EU from Norway. So you can think of us kind of, the easiest way to think of us is a curated, aesthetic version of Amazon. And today, 3 years ago, I started Nevoy. Today, these are a part of our team to build a new platform and the agency, as well as many well-known advisors and talented designers in the industry. So together, as a collaborative force, we hope to create a lot of impact going forward. And we have been supported by many Norwegian agencies, institutions along the way, and we hope this will also encourage our growth forward. So regarding circular economy and sustainability, 2 years ago, we wanted to focus on this issue and focus on actually what's being done in Norway and the natural and circular materials we have in this country. And we arranged Remade, both as a seminar and exhibition, promoting circular and natural materials. How can we use more of these in product design and architecture? together with also Innovation Week, Oslo Architect Triennale, and Oslo Business Region and ARA. And we wanted to explore these materials, everything from mycelium to wool to wood to recycled plastic, aluminum, glass, to an alternative to cement that's used in architecture today that can save up to 70% of CO2 emissions, and recycled bricks, taking them from an old building into a new, as well as Larvikit, that's a national stone of Norway. So with these natural and recyclable materials, we saw what has been done. We celebrated, together with 29 artisans, what actually is being achieved in order for this to inspire us going forward in the industry. And we want to work together with interior architects and product designers to achieve a better world through product design and architecture. And this was the exhibition in the old Munch Museum in the foyer that shows how we go from trash and natural resources into beautiful product design and architecture. Because the Norwegian economy is currently 2.4% circular, and the worldwide average is a little over 8%. 300 billion euros worth of waste are thrown away every year. 50% of waste comes from the construction industry. 39% of CO2 emissions come from the building industry, and 12% of materials are recycled. We're in 2024. What does it take to really get further here? How do we lower our emissions? So Novoy aims to, by fostering and selling and creating a commercial platform, we aim to have a focus on recycled and biodegradable materials in product design and architecture. We aim to promote those that are having a focus here and support and create a simplified logistics platform that takes away any of the burden of sales, of marketing, of logistics, of exports. That will all be automated so that we can produce more innovation and that artisans can focus on their craft and their talent. We hope that this collaborative platform first can foster and support Norwegian design and craft, but in the future, we would love to do fusion exhibitions and collaborations with Belgian designers, with French designers, with I'm half Turkish. So what do we have in common? What is the underlying theme? We start there, and we explore that theme together, and then create a better world. And we start with the EU in addition to Norway. So today, I'm very honored to present 3 selected designers for the panel together with the Belgian designers. Fredrik Bull from Sane Architects is our first designer that will be speaking in the panel. He's an interior architect and furniture designer focusing on eco room design and creating beautiful interior spaces with reuse in addition to beautiful contemporary design. He won the Bo Bedre Design Award together with Olli Gollefos last year, and he is now going to be featured in the Oslo Runway exhibition coming up. We have Marianne from Alpine Press. She curated and started Alpine Press from her own passion. She's been working as a designer for many years, and she has produced a beautiful line of paper products, stationery, calendars, notebooks that we use every day. And it's from the only last remaining paper mill in Norway. We are a digital society, and we are growing that way more and more, but it is so important to really take care of the handcraft and traditions that we have. And I think it's also important to keep slowing down and not just being on our phones and tablets. Every day, I use in our kitchen this notebook to note down everything I need to note down, as well as the journals, and I love it. And finally, we have Naz Ceramics. Sichi is born in China, grown up in Italy, and has been living in Norway for many years. We're quite similar. We both have worked as UX designers in digital design and innovation there. But his other day job or night job is ceramics. And he makes the most eloquent, beautiful ceramics. You feel them, you touch them every day when you're having that coffee, and it just transports you into a moment of time where you can stop and feel and touch the materials. And you know it's from a handmade, crafted artisan, which I think does something with us. Because in the world of mass manufacturing, in the world of fast pace, when we stop up to have that moment of wellness, that moment of just exploring and taking time, that does something with us, as a society and as an individual. So, this is the start of the panel discussion. So let's talk.
Everybody wants to know, we heard about you on the slide, but can you pitch yourself and your company? And your mic is here, sorry.
Okay. So I'm Marie-Caroline, I'm 32 years old. After a brief financial career in Luxembourg, I decided to take over the family company, which is named Van Tienen Framings. So it's a Belgian framing house that was founded in 1880. So it's almost 150 years old. So.
Wow, quite the nice feat. So you take over the company?
Yes.
What's meaning take over the company?
It's taking over a legacy and trying to form new artisans to take this legacy and all this know-how to new artisans, and trying to make something new from something old. And
nice.
That's
nice.
it.
Cool, thanks. That's it, but it's difficult.
Yes, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, Marianne, could you describe in your own words what's your business about?
My business is a small business that designs and manufactures notebooks and calendars and wrapping paper, etc., using paper from the last remaining paper mill in Norway, which back in the days it used to be a booming industry of paper mills all around Norway, whereas now we only have this one paper mill in Hokksund, just outside of Norway. Oslo, sorry. And they make book paper that's mainly used for books that we read, not books that we write in. And they make tons of paper every year, about 50 million tons of paper, 50,000 million tons of paper. But what they do is they make paper that are, they come out as rolls of paper, but in Norway we have we're not able to use rolls of paper anymore because we've phased out all rotary presses and other manufacturing means that enables us to use this paper. So, but anyway, long story short, I decided it's a shame that we can't access this resource anymore in Norway. So I decided I had to try and do something about that. And so I established a new way of accessing this paper.
Okay,
so,
great.
That was the start.
Both of you had other experience before joining the company, is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
How did it nourish your view of the company? What did you do before taking the reign of the company?
I don't know if you want to start.
I'm a graphic designer, so I worked as a graphic designer. And then I trained to become a UX designer. And then I thought UX design perhaps wasn't for me, so I went back to the paper world. Mm.
And I worked in Luxembourg in finance, so it was a total changeover when I took back the company. But it's more in line with my values and what I want to achieve of my life, so I decided to change my life. It
was a plan? Because in family, you plan 5 years ago, okay, in 5 years, I want to learn about finance, I want to grow expertise, but then I'm going to join the company?
No, it wasn't a plan at all.
Okay.
So it was a surprise for them when I asked to come in the company, because they thought that I would work in Luxembourg, live in Luxembourg, and have my family there. And so I think they were quite happy.
Okay, that was the reaction, they were happy?
Yes, they were really happy.
Okay.
I'm wondering, why do you think it's important to keep old traditions alive? And with everything going on in society, what are you trying to maintain, or what are the values you're trying to keep alive with the the chosen industries?
So I think it's really important to come back to artisanal things, and we have here a lot of great examples, because it's what we are, it's the origin of everything that is made and what we use. And I think that with the globalization, everything wants things that are quickly arriving at their home and that are maybe cheap. And this is not how artisans are working. We are working with our with passion. We are doing everything handmade. So we have to learn to be more patient and to appreciate things that are made with our heart. So I think that is really important.
Yeah, I think it's even though my products, they're not made by hand as such, and they're made in a printer's house, and they're bound at bookbinders. So it's not, craft as your initial idea of craft, but still it's a profession, but it's a kind of maybe you can call it it's a professional craft as such, and I think it's important that we kind of keep using those professional crafts as well, and that we are still able to access those crafts in Norway as well.
Did you see a shift in your clients? Maybe other clients, they were okay to wait, and now they're okay to pay, but not okay to wait because they use Amazon, or they are used to quicker delivery, and you see a shift in your customer base?
I have only 3 years experience, so I don't have the background enough to say that there was a shift or not. But I see it when I say that we have 2 months delay for a frame. The clients are sometimes a bit astonished, saying, "Wow, that's long." And once we show them the atelier, we show them how the frames are done. We show them what a gold leaf looks like. How do we have to put them on the frame? And once they understand this, they understand also the delay and the price as well, because everything takes time, and it has to take time to make a beautiful frame. It's not IKEA, so...
It's not IKEA.
Not IKEA.
Okay.
Is there a shift in awareness for the better or for the worse in the last years after COVID, during the war? Have you experienced... Is it a struggle to create consumer awareness that supports sustainable design, that supports slow design, and this kind of art that appreciates this? Has it gone up or has it gone away?
Well, it's hard to say what's what, but I think for sure, the last 5 years, there's been a change in awareness in general, also amongst my clients and in the general, so I think people are more aware that of what they should be buying and not be buying, perhaps. But still, if we have there's a long way to go before we can actually, follow our kind of ambitions in that respect.
And I would add maybe that with the COVID, we understood that we can not only rely on other countries, but we have to have some craftsmanship and some know-how inside our country, and not all the time relying on China or other country that can provide us with products like chips, for example. And yes, I think yes, chips.
Yeah, chips. Okay.
That's okay.
I don't know, but I I understood.
And, that you put in a computer.
Yeah, because chips are
Okay, processors.
And it's not on the list, but your mother is here, filming you right now. You take the reign, you take the crown, I don't know for her. How is it to work with her mother? You can go, she's not listening, so you get full...
People warned me, saying that it was difficult and that you had to put boundaries. So when you work with someone, you can say some stuff, but when you are closing the door of the company and going home or at your parents' home. It has to be something else. So you leave the problems at work, and I think we do it quite well. We never had any issue that was really problematic until now.
Okay, and the proof is she's there with you, yes. Supporting your mission and your new job as a CEO. Okay.
I think a question for Marianne, and the furniture and the paper industries have both gone downwards. Most paper are manufactured in other countries. This is the last remaining factory. What do you think is needed to foster this handcraft and tradition with paper, with these things that are not digital or mass-produced? And how do you think the paper industry with design can grow going forward? What do you think we need to do?
It's a big question. Well, I think we kind of just... It feels a bit strange saying that we should, be more local when we're sitting here today, because we're trying to be more global in a way. But perhaps, just appreciate. We need to appreciate quality and appreciate the time it takes to both design, manufacture, and produce things in a socially responsible way and in an environmentally friendly way, and in a way that will, make us,
Do you think, we're still learning in Novoy, and we're still experimenting with things and observing when it comes to marketing and influencers and how much Instagram makes a difference and what it also destroys these channels with social media. But do you think there is a way, we see different individuals that really care about something that do manage to give rebirth or life back into these traditions? Do you think by exploring with certain different campaigns, different marketing strategies, that we can create a desire for paper and paper products? And, because most people, they've gone from traditional note-taking to the digital machine. Is there something here that we're losing as a society, or losing in the way we learn, that we can perhaps experiment with more?
Well, I'm not sure if I will answer your question to the point, but it's a difference between the physical, between physical objects like frames or notebooks, the objects that we kind of surround ourselves with for a longer period of time. That we stay. The frame is on the wall, the notebook is on the shelf, perhaps, and it becomes part of our surrounding, part of our memories. They become part of who we are, rather than just fleeting images that we just scroll past and that become sort of just fragments of this messy space. So I think,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is something that they've studied this in the way we learn, and there is something different by taking notes on paper than just taking it on the machine. And there's something with our memory and the way things pass by so fast in the society we live in. And this is why I appreciate both your products and paper in general, and framing, and just this beauty of taking the time to actually create awareness around these traditions, and they become a physical fact in our life instead of this digital mess that disappears.
Yeah.
What's the big objective for you this year as a company? You want to bring back all the production in Belgium, and you told us about not to be as dependent as... what's the big objective for your company this year?
For us, since the beginning, everything is done in Brussels. Okay. So we know where our products are from, we know how we transform them, there are no chemicals used in the process. So our main perspective for this year will be the export, so that's why we are here. But yes, I think that Belgium is quite small, and you have to consolidate your presence in Belgium, but also to see abroad what's the need and try to respond to them, maybe.
Mm. And when you talk about export, maybe someone in the room can help. We don't know who is there. We are looking for a distributor. You're looking for partners who know is doing the same business as you, but in Norway. What kind of precise contact you are looking for today, this week, tonight, here?
So I think there are different prospects, but it may be galleries, art galleries that would want to import frames and make the framings here, or a framer that would like to import our frames and sell them here on the market, or interior designers who would use these frames to embellish the Norwegian interiors. So,
Okay. If someone knows someone has his contact, shoot something. And for you, what's the big goal for you this year?
Well, it's the same as every year. Reaching out to a bigger audience in general. Yeah. Locally and globally.
Okay. Conquer the world.
Yes, basically.
Okay. Cool. You're new friends. Maybe you did a Zoom meeting. You are there for 20 minutes here discussing with us. What could be a collaboration between your two brands? What could be a collaboration? What could you do? Yeah, potential one.
We haven't thought about it.
No.
I'm going to go to the audience, okay? Ask them for questions. I'm going to do that, okay? And you think about that.
So after Oslo and Norway, like for Vantinen house, what would be the next step after the Norwegian countries to discover and to expose your products?
Nice.
So we are going in December in Dubai and Abu Dhabi to talk about our products and to expose some of our frames. So we'll talk with galleries and clients over there. So we are on the good track.
I think while she's thinking, I can perhaps ask, what is the hardest thing about running a business or taking over a business?
Answering questions like this. No, it's challenging filling so many different kinds of roles. To be creative and to be the finance officer and to be the marketing person and to be the HR person, which is the most neglected role, perhaps. Yeah, I find that in juggling all of this and deciding what to spend the most time on.
Yes, and I think the work-life balance is quite difficult also because I have 2 small children. And it's difficult to make a real distinction between the work and when I'm with them, because when I receive a mail, I want to answer, but I'm with my children, so I have to have this quality time with them. So I really have to segmentate my time, and I live just above the atelier, so it's even more difficult.
And what makes it all worth it? Why do we do it?
I'm so proud of the product that we sell, and when we receive a frame of Vantinen that was done 100 years ago and that come back in our atelier for restoration, I'm proud to say that this is our work and that I'm part of this history. So I think that's why I'm working hard.
Fantastic.
On?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. For the financial person, I was just curious. You had a background in finance, and you came back to your kind of family business. And I was curious. The thing is, as designers, we kind of come into, or design business owners, we kind of start or design businesses because we love our craft, we love or what we do, we have a passion for it. Then we get into the business of it and we get a nasty surprise. So I'm just kind of curious that you coming from a financial background and coming and taking over kind of a creative business, what nasty surprises did you have and how did you deal with them?
The nice surprises.
Not nice, nasty.
The what? Nasty. The nasty surprises.
Unpleasant.
I never had to manage people, so I think that's quite difficult to find a good way to communicate with them and challenge them, but not too much, and not put them too much under pressure. So I think that's maybe something difficult, but it's not nasty. So I don't know what would be nasty, because
I was thinking more in terms of like the financials of the company. Was it in good financial standing when you took it over? And
yes, that was. It's a family business, so I knew how it was going, and I was able to look at the financial statements before coming in. So no surprises here.
Alpine, how do you choose your paper?
I can only choose from one paper. So it's kind of, the factory produces book paper, and that's, I can choose between 70 and 90 grams, and cream 0.1 and cream 0.2, so I don't really choose what paper to use. I've just chosen to use this particular paper from that one particular factory.
Is there any particular reason for that?
Simply because it's the only paper that is being made in Norway.
And what would it take to create a new paper line?
A different kind of paper. It would require a different kind of factory, I think. Yeah.
Are they interested in this? Is this a possibility, or are they sticking to the...
No, it's not really an option.
No.
Yeah. But if I were to use different kind of paper, it wouldn't have to go further than Sweden, and it's our forests. They intertwine, so it's basically kind of the same. But so far, I've kind of decided it's fun to try to utilize this one particular paper and see, what's possible to do with it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. Alors, it's a Belgian way. Sorry for that. What would be your first collaboration? You have an idea. Joint venture is coming.
I'm so busy answering questions.
You had someone, no? You have nothing?
yes, we quickly said like a paper frame, but it's the
Okay, let's do this, okay?
idea.
Let's begin small, okay? Paper frame first, and maybe after you are going to conquer the globe together, and it will be great exchange, Belgium for Norway. Thank you for your time and expertise. We can applaud them, for sure, for sharing with us. Merci beaucoup. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Frédéric, are you the tallest designer in Norway?
No. There is a guy that is even taller than me, actually.
It's one guy, okay.
As I know of, at least. But we are tall in this country.
Welcome for this segment of the show. Welcome, Stephanie. Welcome, Frédéric. We're going to talk about circular materials and the way to use circular in art. Maybe, Stephanie, can you pitch yourself and give us some insight about the company?
Yes, of course. I'm Stéphanie Cornet. I'm eco-designer and interior designer. I create Sevi Interior Design. It's a company who specialized in the creation of interior design, eco-responsible, and we create also furniture only with old materials.
Thanks. And Frédéric?
Who am I? Or what do I do?
Both.
First off, I have to thank you all for having me here on stage and for a lovely day and inspiring day so far. I am both an interior architect and a craftsman. Firstly, an interior architect. I work at Sane Interior Architects that is under MAD Architects, so it's a sort of a big corporational ladder there. I work with sustainability both as an interior architect but also as a craftsman on the side. Yeah, that's me. Trying to keep it short.
Yes, great. Your work, for you, sustainability is really important. Why? Both of you.
I think
it's why you pick.
Start with that. I know that this is very, very, very important for you.
But for you also. Okay. Yes, for me it's very important indeed. In the last presentation, I said that I had a dream, but it's a real problem for the future generation to have a very not clean planet. And sustainability, we can collect so waste around us in Belgium. I suppose it is the same in Norway, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. And it's important because it's doable. I mean, it's easier than what you would imagine, and there's no reason why we shouldn't care about the world. So, of course, we have to do it.
Okay. And
quite logical.
Are you the only one thinking like this in your respective countries? Or you think, no, there is no sector, there is other people, there are partners to help you in your sustainability goal? Is a sector, okay, wake up and say, okay, we have to stop to send everything to trash and you have to reuse something? And do you feel that you're not alone in your thinking?
I definitely don't feel like I'm alone in my industry and in my city. I feel that we are a lot of people that try to change the world step by step, and that is, and we are a big community, and we're still growing in every step of the architectural world and the crafts world as well. So we're not alone.
You're not alone. Okay.
I can say the same in Brussels and in Belgium. We are not alone. There are more and more craftsmen and companies who have more and more interest for the upcycling. And the problem is not the motivation, because we see every day young people who come in our company to make a practice, because they want to learn the new ecological process. I think the problem is more the organization of waste, because waste there is no specific rules, and sometimes it's very difficult to capture the waste. I see that the politicians are busy with the creation of rules, but it's a long process, a very long process, and we have to manage also ourselves in a relationship with companies to try to collect the waste. It's not obviously.
Yeah, and a little bit we have talked prior to this, and what frustrates us maybe the most is the accessibility of material that can be repurposed. I mean, I see every day in my projects buildings that are demolished or semi-demolished or changed, where materials aren't brought out early enough for it to be used again, and that is the sort of the political landscape that we are also trying to change little by little, the accessibility and also a higher percentage of the gathering of the materials as well.
And it's obligatory on the politics side because in Belgium, not to brag about Belgium, but we have 2-3 people, 2 individuals who launch Rotor, a small structure, I think helped by the Bruxelles region, but a small structure, and they're going to building that are planned to be demolished, and they are taking everything to resell it because there is value, there is monetary value on this thing, and so they are taking back to their office and then reselling into others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kind of structure exists in Oslo? Are there private entreprises that are doing this kind of thing?
Yes, it does. And more are coming into that field. It's starting to become an industry on its own, in a sense. But it's still, it isn't enough.
Okay.
It isn't enough for me when I do a big project. I need more. And so we welcome even more people to that table.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it's the problem indeed to have the quantity. You spoke about Rotor. Mm. It's a good place, but the price is too expensive for professional as us. Yeah. And but we see more and more place where it's dedicated only for the professional. And the problem with Rotor, it's open to the public and the professional, and it's the same price for both. And I think it's not correct.
Okay.
But I also think that, I mean, I'm very inspired by all the crafts people here today, and you, Stephanie, and especially what Gaston Duplex talked a little bit about. There you are. I mean, this sort of the prejudice against reusement of material. I mean, he talked about sort of the DUI, and a lot of people have prejudice against the materials and don't see the value in it. But when all of these different crafts people, both in your country and especially also in my own country, do show that it can become beautiful furniture, or it can become structural or building elements, I think that will inspire, in a greater sense, to keep and repurpose materials. I hope. That's my sort of sliver of hope, at least.
That's great hope.
Yeah, I think, I know you're part of Number 17, organization network for interior architects that are really trying to use sustainability and reuse and upcycled, gently loved products and the materials in interior rooms. And I know you're working also with an exhibition for Oslo Design Fair with Ombygg, which are like huge IKEA centers for reused materials, everything from kitchen benches and tiles, and even products that never were used. They're just leftovers.
Just to say, I'm not working on that exhibition.
Yeah, okay, but you're a part of...
But I have been a part of them prior, but it's another designer now. But they are, creating an entire exhibition based on repurposed elements, I think, Helene? Yes? It's true.
Sorry, yes, I am mixing my cards, yeah. But in general, what do you think it takes to really motivate? Norway is 2.6% circular, at least the latest statistics say this. What are the standards and the motivations and maybe the ecosystem, the infrastructures also in Belgium? What do we need to really boost this and to support and motivate more interior architects and buyers and engineers to really think what is needed?
I mean, there are several ways to roam. You can say that in English as well, right? Or is it just in Norwegian? And, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things we're trying to do. And as you mentioned, Lillian, Number 17, which is our... Kirsti over there is the prime engine for Number 17. It's our sort of industry internal club to share our different... where I'm looking for experiences. Thank you. We're trying to share our different experiences in order to progress. So at least the culture of sharing which I feel is a little bit new for us at least, that is helping a lot, and that is true number 17. Suddenly we feel a little bit more brave in being honest and talking about what works and what doesn't, so that is a way. We're pushing each other and trying to make new standards for ourselves at least. That is my answer.
How about yeah?
Your question was what about the need that would like to receive or to the support?
Yeah, I think in Norway we're perhaps experiencing that it's really an ecosystem here that needs to play together. We need to collaborate. If we need to be able to find these materials, that's part of it. We need to be able to inspire interior architects and architects in general to reuse, upcycle, take advantage of what is, instead of always thinking it has to be new. Yeah. So do you experience this in
Brussels? There is also an interesting cluster. It's professional cluster when we can also exchange to speak about our experience, and it's very important because it's created by the Brussels region, and we receive a support to promote to be more professional, because it's we begin as craft at a low production, and receive more information, more support to grow and to have a more professional communication, for example, or how to reach our targets. And I think it's a very interesting support.
So the government and the designers and the
in Brussels
need to work together,
because it was a government with a big representation of ecologists. But we have a recent election, and it will be changed probably. But I'm sure that the cluster will stay. And they help to. It's very important for us to receive this advice.
We talk about the difficulty to find used materials. Yeah. What's the strangest place you find something useful for your clients, for your expo, for?
On the side of the road.
Okay.
Driving towards a meeting, we found this sort of wrought iron structure that we later found out was a candelabra. So we cleansed it and put it on a table.
New life. And for you?
My daughter doesn't want to be with me in a car because I stop regularly on the street crying, oh, it's so amazing pieces, I don't know, of metal, of wood, and she said always, you are too, I don't know the word in English, c'est trop gênant.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing, really. I don't want to be your daughter because, yes, it's typical.
The new generation is not ready yet.
No, she's really
ready to protest on TikTok.
No, she's really ready, but
not with you.
It's yes.
No. We've talked a little bit about reuse and upcycling and recycling, but there's also the biodegradable, the biomaterials that are also very exciting. And in 3 days of design, we were just there. I think one of the most exciting products and innovations we saw was these beautiful vases made out of gummy bears. And Anna Marie, a Norwegian designer as well, also works with how gelatin, what we use in food, can also create a beautiful form of material. What materials excite you the most these days? What are inspiring?
It depends entirely for what type of project I'm working on, but I am very excited. I was at the same exhibition, as you know, in Copenhagen, and I'm very excited to have those materials available to me. I'm very much looking forward to working and learning to know them, but I love this sort of, there is this, of course, Danish producer, Matter, that makes these different furniture from waste and composite that is pressed, and that sort of makes new surfaces. So everything, and especially the plast producer, the waste plast producer. I mean, every time we get material that has sort of a new, strange surface to it, I am very intrigued by that. I mean, that excites me.
I began with the renovation of furniture. It was mainly wood. But now I'm a particular attention for the shell. I think it's an amazing waste because everywhere you can see shell. And we work in collaboration with a partner who creates this product. It's a mix of shell, calc, and water. And we have a special material, and we can use for all furniture. It's very, very interesting. But I like also different materials, but it's my favorite.
Mm.
And I mean, Stephanie's material, water, chalk, and shell. I mean, it's super exciting.
Very beautiful texture.
I'm going to the audience to take the question. I'm going to take your mic.
Yes,
you were talking about the accessibility of waste, and I have a question about that, because do you think the problem is the accessibility of waste, or the difficulty to transform it to a good price to enter the economy today? Because I do think that there's so much waste today, and it's quite easy to find it, but sometimes it could be difficult to find the producer who want to transform it, and usually when you ask them, it's usually really expensive. So that's my question.
It's a very interesting question because I suppose that we meet the same problem. It's the transformation. In Belgium, we pay the real price for the production, and it's sure in comparison with the Asian market, it's difficult sometimes to be more attractive, at a more attractive price. But we have also to change the mentality of the client, of the consumer. But I think it's impossible today to diminish the price of the production, because we are in Belgium and we have to pay the employers, the workers. I work with disabled workers because it's important for me to integrate the disabled workers, but it's also a real interesting relationship, because we can try different production. It's very simple to collaborate, and we are not in the classic industry. And I think it's a working way. It's very interesting, and it's a human relationship. Also, it's very, very interesting.
What we have seen. Cecilia talked a little bit about it earlier today, but what we've seen here in Norway is that instead of having a designer design something and then waiting or trying to get a producer to make it, they make it themselves. In small quantas. Often it's sort of a capsule collection, or they have sort of a little catalog, and you can do a sort of an order of it. And when you have that sort of framework for it, it's easier at least to create and have control. But that is a specific type of designer, and a lot of my friends are those designers, and I know that they're not becoming rich overnight by doing it, but it's the sort of the desperation of trying to do it, because it's very difficult. It's maybe a little depressing answer, but at least someone is trying to do something.
Right, so apparently I have a question. Thank you for that. Well, it's not so much a question as maybe a comment, but as Frederick was talking about earlier, we have tried throughout the past 3 years collaborating and making like a culture of sharing, because we can't do this change alone. And for me, who's not an interior designer and is even not a craftsperson, just sort of really fascinated about what you guys can do. It's really quite interesting to understand how an industry that is really promoting consumerism and growth and just sort of affluence and excess, when you are trying to change and becoming the good guys, helping the planet. Also because, at least in Norway, interior design is not regulated. You don't have to. You can develop as much bad habits as you want. So how do you find sort of the drive to be a part of the good guys who are front runners? Because you are going to scale up. We can't keep doing pilots and small capsule stuff, you know. We need to make this the norm. So how do you make sense of this in yourselves, being part of this massive consumer industry in one hand and trying to do good on the other?
It's a big, deep philosophical question, Kirsti. But we all, I mean, we care. This is our home. This is our planet. I have younger sisters that I want them to live in on a healthy planet. And of course, we are sort of the bad guys. I mean, interior architects are bad guys, not you guys, but I am a bad guy. But I'm trying not to be one. And the reason for it is personal, first and foremost, but it's also, and I think that's maybe credit to the EU and regulations from the EU. I know that there are legislations that will come to Norway at some point. So now we also have to start doing stuff, and that makes it easier for us that want to be more sustainable in our craft, because we know that now everybody knows that they have to also care about it in a sense. I don't know if that was a good answer for it.
I would like to also comment on, I grew up in the US where sugar and materialism is king. And we're waking up. We're a society that are waking up now. We know that sugar is awful for us. We know that a lot of the processed foods are awful. It's about consumer awareness and changing our patterns. And I think I've been one of many that's kind of seen this transformation of, I used to be one of these Americans that would buy the cheapest thing from H&M. Of course, it's available, it's accessible, it's cheap. We know that clothing is exactly the same, but we're waking up to this awareness of also materials that breathe around us, create a sense of wellness, instead of having plastic hard surfaces that don't do this. And I think that's why I applaud interior architects as well, because when they're able to use materials in the right way, interior design is about creating a sense of wellness around us, I believe. Sometimes it's about luxury, sometimes it's about a personality, but it's also about the rooms we live in. And I think this combined with product design and the materials, we're choosing to create a larger awareness. And I think society and the industry in general is doing a better job at teaching consumers and normal people about the effects we're living in. We can choose to destroy this world, or we can choose to make it better.
Just to comment on that, I mean, at the end of the day, there is sort of this revolution, I feel, that new isn't the way to go also. I mean, and new is almost starting to become a little tacky. I mean, you guys are sitting in a planet chair, Sven Ivar Dyste, it's a 60s Norwegian icon, and I can use that chair and I can find it quite affordable on a reuse platform. And it has so much more story when the wooden details on the leg has these sort of scratches on it, instead of that new look. So that is also, I think, I feel, okay, we're not buying the cheap things, but we're not also buying the new things, I hope, more and more at least.
Yes, but I would like to react, because the marketing is well done, not for the upcycling, but for the consumerism. When you see, you have, and sure, for the interior designer, you have to follow the trend, and you have to change the color of this, or you have to change the furniture because it's too old, or and it's the same with the clothing fashion. It's the same, and we speak about fast furniture. But we have to stop absolutely the fast furniture. It's that creates a real damage on the planet, and we have to think more and more. If it's important to buy a new furniture or not, it's necessary or not, and we have also to think about the quality. I know it's very simple to say. But we have to teach also, because I'm a teacher, and I gave some workshop and in a school, and the school said, the students said me, we have to have a workshop about ecology at school. But that doesn't exist today, and we have to create this. It's very important, and to explain the damage of the fast furniture, of the fast fashion, about all the damage that we can cause on the planet. That it's a little action, but I think it's a good beginning. We can try on different level to help and to act.
Okay. Thanks for this message of hope at the end. We can do something. What would be the first collaboration between you two?
I mean, we're going to make furniture together, aren't we?
Yeah. We decide to go together.
Really? Shake your hands in front of everyone. Okay. Wow. Thank you very much. So, who wants to be the first to pitch?
Well, good afternoon. My name is Derek. I'm the founder and creator of Promise, which is a small manufacturer of high-end ceramic lights. You probably saw them entering this nice space.
And here?
Yeah, there's one here, next to the one of Siki. The particularity of my creations is that I mix different kind of clay together to create nuances and textures. The pieces remain without glazing, so they are an invitation to the touch. It's I consider it as an invitation to a moment of pause. I want people to have a daily reminder in their home of, okay, it's now time to have a moment for me. Take a book next to your lamp. It's something that drives me every day. Yeah, so we are working on different types of products. For the moment, we have table lights. And we develop pendants light, and other kind of product will come later on. But for the moment, we are focusing on light. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Sigi?
Yes. nice to see everybody here. My name is Sichi. I do feel like a little bit of a black sheep in this group because I'm not an entrepreneur. And Not Ceramic is one of my many passion projects. As Lilian introduced earlier, by day I'm a UX designer as well, so working mostly with digital things. I moved here to Norway 7 years ago now to take a master and then stay to become UX designer. But during pandemic, I really struggled because everything was digital. I was locked in my room and I needed something physical to put my hands on. And pottery was something that always interested me, and I started doing that, and that was my way of staying sane and talk to myself without being too crazy, because when you do pottery, you think a lot and you talk to yourself a lot. And that's how it ended up being a more serious project, out of necessity, but the reception has been amazing. I collaborate with a lot of shops and magazines, and I showed my pieces in the Porcelain Museum in Porsgrunn, which is the porcelain museum in Norway. And that just motivated me to continue pushing for it. And on the side, as a night activity, I guess, sharing time with many other passions, also making my own clothes, because that was also commitment, as we mentioned in fashion. Is just horrible, and I just couldn't buy better. So I need to learn to make my own clothes.
Amazing. You both talked about, or you talk about honesty in the materials and the feeling, the texture. Can you talk a little bit more of that and how you choose the materials that go into your products?
Yeah, this is where we risk to get really nerdy, I think. So between two of us, we literally use the same material, and it's really quite impressive how similar the outcome got, even without knowing each other. And the honesty of the material is the core of the ceramics, because the material that remembers everything. It has a memory. It's not just about the shape you give. You need to treat it with respect and to follow all the steps of the process in order to get the result. You need to test in order to get the right result. So everything shows. You can't really hide things. If you hide things, you push, or you try to produce too fast, it's going to crack. So in order to get to the final result, you really need to think about every single step to tell a story. And every single detail tells a story because it is intentional. If you leave a little mark on the clay, it's going to stay there forever after firing. It's eternal material after you fire it. So honesty is kind of everything, because it's moldable to whatever you want it to become. You can simulate whatever material you want with the ceramics. You can do clay tiles that look like metal, that look like wood. You can replicate other textures too. So it's really all about the intention, at least for me.
Yeah, it's everything about what pushed me to start ceramics, actually, is to generate emotions and authenticity in the creations. My goal is really to share connection with the material and to use these textures and light to be connected with our surroundings, or the environment. So there is an authenticity, I would say, in the intention of the creation of Promise, yes. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yes, no, I think it was lovely. I'm also interested and curious about the business side of things. You both have two different angles. Siki is, by night. You live off your passion, and you have a sustainable income from it. Are there secrets there into the business world of how you...
Well, the business is actually growing, but we are starting. It's still the beginning. So we started actually in December. So yeah,
what's starting? When you tell the audience if someone is going to start, you start to do it in your garage. You start to go to the bank. You started to sell on a website. What's starting?
In December, we started selling. So actually, for a year and a half, I developed the product. I hundreds of tests of mixing different types of clay. I don't want to go too much in the details, but this is what makes the outcome, as you said, quite special. There's something about the material that I believe generate emotions. This is what I want to transmit to people. It's the emotion I put into every piece. So they are made one by one on the potter's wheel. And as I said to the people that helped me, I want them to finish the piece with a smile. Because really I want to have positive energy transmitted to the clay. Because I am convinced that the clay, which is a mix of many minerals, can transmit that. It vibrates as minerals, stones, and that we can find in nature. So yeah.
But were there any secrets of being able to live off a sustainable income, and how you create a full business off of the craft? Is there anything you've experienced that have helped you along your journey that you would share with others?
What helped me? Yeah, actually in December, I received a prize from the Brussels Expertise Labels, which is a groupment of high standard and high quality houses in Brussels. There are many renowned companies and houses, members of that group. And that gave me a credibility and visibility in the press. So that was a good push. So I was, even if I believe it's part of a chance to have been elected.
Clients call you directly? Gallery called you? Shops call you? What's the distribution?
Shops, yeah. Yeah, and interior architects. Because the creations are a bit different from what we can usually see, and yeah, so that, and as we have a made-to-measure service, this also give many possibilities for professionals, and this, to answer the question before that I was not clear about. One special element about Terpremise is that we mainly work with professionals, and that one thing that make the success, I would say, because we have many potters, individual potters that have to find ways to sell their creation, which is wonderful, but it's a real challenge today to be alone in your production process, and to have to communicate. You have to manage everything, and that's an issue that we solved. I would say, yeah.
That was a vision from the beginning, to have your own factories, and or the temptation to, okay, I'll be the designer, maybe I'll do a part of the business, or you want to do the whole business from the beginning?
It was a step-by-step evolution. I was absolutely in a different field before that.
Which field?
Yeah.
Wait, what field?
I was in the quality label industry, in the food industry, and so I changed totally my professional activity. And sorry, the question was to.
Yeah, do you want to, at the beginning, to take the whole side of the business, or you?
Yes. Sorry, I'm.
Maybe we could just switch topics. No, I think, going back to sustainability and sustainable craft, how do we compete with greenwashing and large brands that claim products sometimes are sustainable versus handmade, and how do we compete with the large manufacturers and create a desire for handmade and sustainable design? And how do we teach consumers?
I think the desire is already there. We see this shift we talked about before. People are becoming more aware because the numbers, we all seen the numbers. It's not sustainable to continue like this. This world is not designed for overconsumption. Like the latest numbers that we see is that in the last 6 years, we consume as much as we consumed in the last century. And that's ridiculous. And that's just not going to continue like that. So people are becoming aware that even though the climate crisis is maybe not their fault, it's not their actions to change that, but we need to be part of the solution. But we need to be there to tell them how to do that by telling our stories. Because I think there's a intellectual dishonesty in the big corporation doing greenwashing because they can see that there is this interest. That's why they're doing it. They are taking off this aesthetic of a handmade or like something that is more pure and transform into mass produce soulless objects. And I am personally one of those people who's gonna judge you if you buy from Shein or from Temu, because it's just a choice that you're making. And I think by telling a more honest story, as we, again, coming back to honesty, I think that's the best way to get to people because they already know that it's wrong to just mass consume.
What's the big challenge for you this year? What for you? Do you want to go full time or no? It's not what you want. You want to keep this balance between your UX work that provide a lot of great designers in Norway, as you had before, or you want to go full time?
I would love to get to do my craft full time. Yeah, that needs some small transition steps. So I'm just here to learn how to get there and take full control of the production details, as we're saying. For example, in the lamp, I was observing how the details in your lamp with the leather switch and the selection of the cover for the cord, like everything is thoughtful to the last point. For me, that's simply not possible at the capacity I have right now. I will need more people and my suppliers. And so, yeah, that also take time. So I would love to get where you are now.
Derek, are you open to exchange and share your expertise more deeply after the show?
Sure.
And what's your goal for you?
The goal is to go internationally. We only work with local people to create the lamps, but of course to be sustainable from an economic point of view, we need to export.
And what is exporting for you? It's finding distributors, finding clients outside. What's your best case scenario to succeed in exporting your brand?
Finding distributors. This can be decoration stores, but it's also to build a professional relationship with interior architects. Yeah, mainly. But
okay.
There are many possibilities, but yes.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to go to Florence because she wants to ask you a question.
I was wondering, you're both doing lamps, right? Is there another object that draws your attention, like that you would like to craft also in ceramics?
Because I already do a lot of different types of things,
Sorry.
So it's more probably for you.
Yeah, there are quite many actually, but the goal is to offer a range of possibilities on small batch series for lights, but also for mirrors, frame of the mirrors, and objects that can be put in the decoration inside houses or hotels that could remind the colors of the lighting used, and yeah.
Sichi, I mean, what are the objects that you would like to craft next? That's working for you too.
I mean, because what we're exploring with the clay is actually the daily interactions. And there are so many objects around us can be potentially replaced with clay. Like the fact itself that we made a lamp out of ceramics is already kind of counterintuitive object in material to use for light because it's not that transparent. It's more about redirecting and telling the story. So lots to explore more rituals that we have around the house and how we can create more these meaningful interactions. So it could be anything. It could be a chair, could be a table, who knows?
Liliane, it's up to you to conclude.
Sure, one more question I'm curious about. Do you want to continue to do unique products that are more exclusive and one of a kind, or would you like to expand your studio for several craftspeople to be able to create more of a large scale? Is this a goal? Many professional buyers often wonder, okay, what if I want 100 of those? Is this something you would like to pursue or not? And why not?
For Terpremise, this is a possibility as we developed an intern knowledge, I would say, that we want to be able to transmit to other craftsmen. So we can have a group of craftsmen making the lamps. The know-how still is in the manufacture, so it is scalable, if I can say. Yeah.
I think for me it would be a little bit different. I would love to continue keeping the production for myself because in a way it's my story to tell with my objects. I think I'm losing a little bit of that by going to mass production, or not mass, but anyway, smaller productions. But I think still the community side is really important. So going forward, I would love to be able to create space for people to come in and tell their own stories through clay. And it's already kind of happening in Oslo because the potters community in Oslo is much more fragmented. If you go to Copenhagen, you know what's the style and you know the emerging ceramic artists there. There's a common identity. At first, I was a little bit frustrated that Oslo doesn't have that. But then I realized that all the stories we're telling each of us is different. And it tells something about the background, the way they treat the clay, the way they explore the colors, material, textiles, and textures. So I think I would love to create more space for that because I think that's more true to what I want to achieve ultimately.
Thanks. Do you have the time to think about your first collaboration? What could it be?
Not a lamp?
Of course, a lamp.
Okay.
They already look like siblings in a way. So we can explore what a marriage can
explore.
Okay.
We'll do something.
Let's do this. Could you shake your hands? I want to have this connection, you know? Oh, come on, yes!
So I'm Florence, but I'm part of the organization, so that you understand who we are. Thank you for being there on the Norwegian side and on the Belgian side. I think Isabelle Gripa earlier mentioned how important it was for us. And we're glad that we can share together around this exhibition, but I'm sure also around a lot of similar experiences, or not. For what's next, so you might have seen in the program, we have some special guests tonight. Our Royal Princess Astrid is joining us. She will be there in around 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Just for you to know, so the only protocol that I will need to share with you so you know how to react. We will announce when she arrives. I will keep the mic and announce it. If you're sitting, I will ask you to stand up. If you're standing up, then you can still be standing up. It's fine. I invite you after this show to have a drink. There will be some finger food. So don't hesitate to roam around. The only thing when the princess will arrive, of course, you will probably see there will be some space made for her. But you're more than welcome to stay also in the space. It doesn't change anything except for the small space that will be between her and the works that she will be presented with. Yes.
If someone has a question or want to talk with her, it's possible or no? Everything is...
She will have a very busy program, so...
No question.
So I think it's not a possibility today.
A selfie? A selfie?
A selfie neither. You won't be able, I think, because the press is going to be there as well.
Okay.
So, but we invite you to stay, and the point of us having this event today is really to create partnerships and conversations like Isabelle mentioned today. So I'm done talking. Just if you hear my voice again, it means that the princess is arriving.
Stand up.
So stand up. And you can clap to show your enthusiasm because you're very happy about this. So yeah. Anyway, you want to conclude?
No.
No, yeah.
Do it.
I wanted to thank Liliane and every Norwegian guest that we had and our guests as well. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for our preparation calls and for making it so easy. And Liliane, thank you for putting us in touch. And I hope this is the start of something for people here. I'm done talking. So
thanks.
Enjoy the night.
Cool.